All right, welcome in to Before Floor, an extension of Five on the Floor on the Five Reasons Sports YouTube channel. We're sponsored, as always, by our friends over at Biscayne Bay. Biscayne Bay Brewing, the official beer of the Miami Marlins. Also got kiosks at the FTX Arena at the 100 and 300 levels. They've got great beer. The Regatta Double IPA, the Tropical Bay IPA. There's that kiosk. Look at that. The Marlins Lager and many others. Find Biscayne Bay Brewing also at your local supermarkets such as Publix, Whole Foods, Winn-Dixie, and many restaurants, including QuarterDeck, where we're going to be tonight, and Brady already is. I'm heading over there shortly. This is the QuarterDeck in Davie over on University Drive. That's close to where the Dolphins used to train. If you know La Spada's in that area, it's very similar to that area. Look at Brady. Look at the beautiful scenery in the background. We propped him up. He's at the QuarterDeck somewhere in a parking lot. So check out the QuarterDeck. We're going to be there tonight, and we're going to be giving away money on ASX. So if you want to jump in now, you can use the code 1821. You can do it right now. You got an hour. You need some time to find some players who are on the board, by the way, because nobody's playing tonight, as we're going to get to with Brady. We have jinxed this entire thing. But use the code 1821. There are 35 players in there already, the last that I checked. So make sure that you sign up and get a chance to win. It's a total prize pool of $450 tonight between those who are in and those who are outside the house. Also sponsored by a friend, Mark Brown, MARCBrownPA.com. Go to him for all of your estate planning needs. Again, MARCBrownPA.com. All right, let's get to it tonight. And there's the phone number, 954-566-5678. Let's get to it tonight. Brady, I was going to say who's in, who's out. You're kind of in QuarterDeck. You're sort of outside, but you can still tell us who's playing tonight. Or actually, it'd be easier to tell us who's not.
Yeah, well, I could say who's not playing is Jimmy, Bam, Marquise Oladipo, Caleb Martin, the same ones as before, but now Tyler Hero's added to that list. So it just gets harder and harder for Miami. Now they're stuck with 10 guys, including Marcus Garrett, who actually could get some minutes today, which could be interesting. It feels like they're just going to go into a 9-man rotation, which just has them outside of it. And on the other side of things, they're missing some guys as well. Another guy popped into the health and safety protocols, which is just another guy that Miami plays against that ends up happening to. And then obviously Embiid, I'm not sure if it was updated, but I know he was questionable. He went through shoot-around this morning. So obviously if he doesn't play, things might be a little bit more even. But other than that, it's a pretty awkward game.
This is pretty reminiscent of the trip to Philadelphia last year, Jonathan. I remember early in the season, except with that one, the Heat had nobody but Tyler Hero. And Hero kept him in that game. It went a couple of overtimes, and they lost anyway. I feel like this would look really, really different if Tyler was playing tonight, but he's not. So how exactly do they generate offense?
Yeah, you're probably going to see a lot more shot attempts from Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. I can see those two guys kind of combining to pick up the slack. But like you said, it's a really, really tough position for the Heat to be in. They're now without their 3 or their 4 best players. Maybe those are the 3 best players, depending on where you rank Kyle Lowry among them. So the offense is really going to have to be team generated. Something good that I did see, and of course we did have Tyler Hero during that span. Over the last 3 games, we've averaged over 31 assists a game, and we're assisting on 76% of our field goals. So we're doing a really, really good job moving the ball. Not only Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker is doing a really good job from the short roll, finding out the shooters, doing the dribble handoffs as well. So I think that's the way it's going to have to be. We're not going to be focused on one individual scorer. I think we're going to need 4 or 5 guys in double figures for us to get the win today.
Ricky, we take a look at who's available and who's not available tonight for the Heat, but we also take a look at the schedule. And they do have Philadelphia tonight, which is, if they have Embiid, then they're still formidable. But then after this, you get Detroit, you get Orlando. The schedule starts to soften up from an opponent perspective. It would be fairly impressive to steal this tonight. But do you anticipate in any way that they can?
I think the only way that happens is if the things that Jonathan just mentioned take place and happen without any errors whatsoever. I think at this point with Miami, when you're missing pretty much your top shelf of talent, you're going to need everything to go your way, including calls, COVID testing, passing, shooting, just about everything. And this reminds me of what I used to say last season when Miami was going through that tough stretch, which turned out to be the entire season. No. Everything has to go right for Miami for them to win this game. They have to take what they did to Milwaukee last week and double it and just keep it moving. Because at this point, with Miami playing the way they are right now, missing the guys that they do, it's going to be tough. And one last thing I'll say with regards to the schedule, I think we can say the schedule softens up if Miami's at full strength. But if Miami is down to their G Leaguers, the the schedule isn't soft because their top shelf guys are between our G leaguers and rotation all-star caliber players. So I think it's going to be tough the next few games if Miami doesn't get their guys back. I don't think this is going to be a soft schedule at all. This is looking to be a tough stretch.
Brady, let's go with it with Embiid and without Embiid, okay? If Embiid is playing tonight, how do you defend it? How do you attack it?
Yeah, I think you can only do as much as you possibly can against Joel Embiid when you don't have Bam Adebayo. Like, you only have so many bodies right now. We've seen KZ be able to guard up slightly, but he's not guarding a Joel Embiid type. You're going to have him just defend Dwayne Dedmon, be the primary defender. You're going to throw Emmer in there, which is going to be kind of a mess. I think you have to go zone in a lot of ways for this game because you just can't guard him one-on-one, and then they'll kind of pick it apart if they start doubling like we saw even in that last game. But overall, this just feels like you guys were touching on a lot of things. Like, I've never seen a team in a spot where we're looking at two-way guys from last season. It feels like this game strides on the success of Max Strus tonight. Like, if we're looking at this bench, it's going to be Marcus Garrett, KZ Okpala, and Omer Yurtseven. If Max Strus doesn't have a decently shooting night and an offensive night even on the ball, it's going to be a long night for Miami no matter if he plays or if Embiid plays or if he doesn't play.
All right, let's get to a macro question here before we go. And again, we invite everybody to go over to the QuarterDeck where I'm going to head over and meet Brady there. We're going to have a good time tonight regardless of the result. And we are not being blamed for this one, okay? You can blame COVID, injuries, a whole bunch of different things. This one's not our fault. But let's have a macro conversation here. Jonathan and Ricky, I'll let you jump in on this. I mean, what should the NBA be doing? Because, it feels like we went from a trickle to it's kind of an explosion now. And it's not just the NBA. The Panthers are not traveling 7 players, okay, because of a COVID outbreak. We're seeing it in the NFL as well. The Dolphins don't have a running back room. So, I mean, what is the solution? Is there a solution? I mean, how do you get through this and keep it fair?
Well, I mean, first of all, what the NBA should do isn't what they're going to do because it's always going to be profits over people, right? If they can get games going, no matter who's playing, people are going to watch. Sponsorships are going to continue to go out there. Commercials are going to continue to go out there. All the things are going to have to continue to make the NBA money. And we always know that's going to be priority no matter what. I mean, the NBA compared to the NFL does seem to care a little bit more about their players and seem to, value them a little bit more. But no matter, at the end of the day, it's still about money, right? But what they should do, in my opinion, I think, a 2 to 4 week break. I think what you polled or somebody polled, a 2 to 4 week break where you have every player quarantine. You make sure, if they violate that quarantine, that there is a repercussion for whatever they do wrong. I think that's probably the best way to go. It's starting to run rampant again. And once it spreads, it's just a compounding effect moving down forward where it becomes 1, then it's 3, then it's 15, then it's 60. It just moves really, really fast, right? So we're in a position where we might see that happen all throughout every major league that's playing right now. But it's going to be tough to stop it because, like I said, they're always going to prioritize those profits. So I don't see them really doing anything. I think they just continue to move on.
Yeah, I mean, a 2 to 4 week break would be great for the Heat in particular. Bam would be a little bit closer to returning, and Jimmy would be healthy by then. But Ricky, I mean, you looked up at Jonathan on that. I think you agree generally that what they should do and what they're going to do are two different things. But I mean, this doesn't feel sustainable here because I mean, this is a league that. Rudy Gobert, one guy, and they shut the whole damn league down. And now it's like, okay, everybody's testing positive, and we move on. Like, there doesn't seem to be consistency there at all.
Muted, brother.
Mike.
A lot of what Ramakan said makes a lot of sense. I mean, if anything, if you were to ask me that question, I would have to echo what President Bill Clinton said in 1995. Shut it down. That's a little political reference for those of you that were even alive back then. 90% of you probably weren't.
Only I was from here, I think. But that's
I was born in 95.
I was born in 90.
For a couple months.
I mean, come on now.
I was graduating from college. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, there you go. But yeah, so look, at this point, I think you got to shut it down. Now, that would be my proposal. Shut it down and wait for about 2 weeks. Let everything calm down. And during that time period, you reevaluate the COVID protocols as we currently know them. Because right now, it's clear that as variants are the original virus that have mutated. Right. The situation has mutated, but the protocols have not yet mutated. They're still going by an agreement that existed or that came into being before the Delta variant was even born. So this needs to be evaluated. This needs to also be done in a way where it's not confusing the players, because if you shut it down, reevaluate the protocol, everyone has time to understand what exactly they need to agree to and to follow, so that way different information isn't going around. Because let's take the LeBron testing situation. That, if I'm not mistaken, came out as a result of people botching the testing or the evaluation. And as a result, everybody was confused. LeBron went home, tested positive for 2 days, and miraculously came back. And when that sort of thing continues to happen, you have a situation where you have fans that are growing skeptical of not just the virus, but whether or not certain protocols applied to certain players. I've already been I've been long against the idea that the rules apply differently depending on how much of a star that you are. But if there's one thing that we've learned about this pandemic, it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, black, white, Cuban, Venezuelan, Haitian, or whatever, that COVID-19 virus is going to punch you in the face most likely. And in many ways, if you're already sick, it's even worse. So at this point, we need to reevaluate the protocols, shut down the league for about 2 weeks, or 6 to 8 weeks if you're a Heat fan, so that way when they come back, and then keep this going. Don't be afraid to postpone the season if necessary. Capitalism be damned.
Well,
one thing, sorry to cut you off.
Okay.
Just ask Karl Anthony Towns how this affects you, right? Not only the players, but the loved ones of these players as well.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. Nothing's going to happen until December 26th, okay? So I feel like, they're going to keep that moving until Christmas, and then we may that might be the Christmas gift that everybody gets as a shutdown. All right, I got to get over to QuarterDeck. Brady's got to get to a chair. So I'll do this. You each got 15 seconds, okay? Brady, let's say Embiid plays. Give me a percentage that the Heat win tonight.
If Embiid plays, I don't like Miami tonight. I don't feel like they have enough bodies. I think relying on guys that are just not experienced enough, like a Marcus Garrett. I think there's guys that don't have enough time in the rotation, just working on the ball, usage going higher. I don't like Miami tonight. But if Embiid doesn't play, I do like Miami a lot more.
All right. Ramlakan, percentage. Oh, John, mute. You're muted.
Percentage, if Embiid plays, I'll give us like a 30.
No, it was just a delay. Keep going, Jonathan.
Skip to Ricky.
Okay, go ahead. Ricky, go ahead.
Yeah, so I would just say if Embiid plays, I'm going to give us about 15%.
Oh, okay.
And I'll give us about 70 if he doesn't play.
Really? That's high. All right. You're usually positive here. Somebody's got to replace Greg. Ricky, go ahead.
I'll say George W. Bush's approval ratings as he was leaving office, around 13 to 14%.
Oh, my God. 13 or 14%. Look at that. I would say if Embiid plays, 15% is about where I'd put it. I think they got a puncher's chance if he doesn't. I feel like 35% shot, but you're right, Brady.
That's still an F.
Strus and Vincent would need to combine for 40 tonight. Like that's what you're looking at. You need to get 40 points from two guys who were two ways last year. I will tell you though, if they win tonight under those circumstances, we're having watch parties for every single road game the rest of the year. Meet me at QuarterDeck. I'm heading over to meet Brady. It's in Davie. It's on University Drive. I've got hats. We've got cash. So we'll make you feel a little bit better. Have a good night. Pace and space, halftime.
Yeah, like Ethan said, remember we're going to be doing pace and spaces at halftime. As soon as the second quarter is over, go ahead and join us on Twitter. We're going to be doing our halftime show live there, as we usually do with Sean, Marco, and Anthony or Tony. And then after the game, go ahead and join us here for the post-up show, the analysis of the game against the Philadelphia 76ers. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to keep it short today so you guys have time to go over and join us on our watch party, and we will see you later tonight here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Have a good night, enjoy the game, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.